Collector Strikes Back. So we share the same interest as that interest is collecting toys. Bought that one, but it's a long time coming. Star Wars toys. It's on. Collector Strikes Back. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of The Collector Strikes Back. I am your host, Edwin San Juan. And today, co-hosting with me, we have the one and only Mr. Johnny Roque.
Hey guys, you saw me last year with the camera. And the beginning of this year too. Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, you were on the eve of it. So yeah, welcome back, bro. It's good to have you. We had a fun time last time you were here. Manny actually is, unfortunately, is on a cruise ship right now, so he can't make it. So I asked you to come fill in, and you were right there. I appreciate it.
Dude, I love this podcast. Like I told you earlier, like nerdy stuff is the only thing I was able to be soft about.
Yeah.
Like in school, I get punked a lot if I, expressed any type of feelings.
Right, like if you like Pokemon or something like that.
Oh, no, not even. I was a fat kid, right? So I was never picked for any sports.
Okay.
So if I got sad, then just like, you little bitch. Oh, no, I'm not. I just want to play.
Also, they said you look like Pikachu? Or you never got picked.
No, they said I look like Potochu. I was like, what? Poto, like just man.
Yeah, we were talking about that outside because Star Wars is kind of a thing that's kind of accepted because people don't really clown you too much if you're like a fan of Star Wars. Not like they do if you like Ninja Turtles maybe or Pokemon or.
Well, that's what I like about like collectibles and collectors and stuff. It's the fandom that comes. That's why I'm a Raiders fan for the fans.
Okay.
Like I've never like
not for the team.
Not really. Like I've been to like several stadiums. I've been to several games. But every time I'm Raiders fans show up.
They have the black hole, right?
Oh, when I found out about what that was, I was like, "What's that?"
Oh, were you thinking something sexual?
Yeah.
Oh, that's why you laughed at that. I was like, "What? What are you they laughing at the black hole? That's dope." And then the new stadium is they call it the Death Star. It's in Vegas now, so
that's
the black hole.
The second reason I'm there because like Vegas is, I think it's the destination to have a football team.
Okay.
Everyone travels. Like, there's no real team that's from that city, homegrown. Like when the Chargers came to LA, all the San Diego fans had to drive up to LA because LA doesn't have any Chargers fans.
No, yeah.
They have any Chargers fans?
Yeah, that's why they bounced out. And then also the Clippers used to be in San Diego, but now they're in LA. And the thing about like Raider fans, they're all over the world. Like you can go to a game in Minnesota and there will be a group of Raider fans there. You know, they're deep all wherever you go, and kind of like the Lakers too. Like, but then what I like about us is we just focus on what we need to do or what we don't have, versus other teams hate on us. Like Clipper fans, they really hate on Laker fans, and they go out of their way to stay. You know, and like today's draft day, I saw some pictures of some gay Raider dudes. Yeah, they were like, "This is Raider fans on draft day," and then they're like some gay cholos on there, and like, oh man, they go out of their way to hate on us. You know what I mean? But we got other things to worry about.
No, that's why I love Raiders fans. Because whenever people go out their way to hate on Raiders,
right,
there's like maybe one or three of them in like a corner, and then all of a sudden all you hear is Raiders. Yeah. No matter what the season's like, no matter how good or bad you guys are doing, I'm just like, these are fans you want to be a part of.
And I am a Raider fan, but that is the most annoying thing to hear. Even if I'm a Raider fan, when someone goes Raiders, I get embarrassed. Like, oh man. But like you said, we could be in last place and we still have pride for the Raiders.
There's still that excitement. It's also something that I'm writing a show about the Raiders winning the '84 championship.
Okay, is that with Rich Gannon?
I think so.
Okay,
like I'm doing the research on it now, but I'm crossing it with the Night Stalker, Richard Ramirez Night Stalker story.
Oh,
because during that time, LA was dealing with both those things.
Oh,
like people were so excited.
Raiders and killers.
Yeah. People were looking at the Raiders. Which one of them is the Night Stalker?
That's a very interesting take on that. Yeah.
Well, because it's the thing that like for LA, a lot of fans that are like Raider fans in LA, like that's when like they were the biggest. They won a bunch of championships here. They were the LA Raiders. Like
Right.
oh man, what's his face was the guy from Rocky, Apollo Creed.
Apollo Creed, yeah.
Yeah, he was a Raider.
Yeah, he was.
Then he was
Rest in peace.
R.I.P. He was an actor too. He was
Yeah.
a football player and then became a movie star.
And he was in Star Wars.
And he was in Star
Yeah,
Wars. The
yeah.
coolest guy in Star Wars.
Yeah.
The coolest, like, what's his face? Childish Gambino, Donald Glover.
Yeah,
Try to play him.
Oh yeah.
Cool guy, but he's
Wait, you're getting them mixed up. That's Lando Calrissian. You got your black guys mixed up.
damn
Lando
it.
Calrissian was played by Billy D. Williams, and that's who Gambino was playing him as a young guy. But the guy from that you were saying that was a Raider,
Apollo Creed.
Apollo Creed, yeah, he was in the Boba Fett series.
I thought he was Lando Calrissian. Damn.
No.
See, I know that from my knowledge, there's only been like one black guy in Star Wars.
That was Lando Calrissian, yeah.
And then the second guy came.
Well, Carl Weathers was supposed to play in an outfit. They were supposed to do makeup on him and stuff like that, and he was only supposed to do like one episode. But they just decided to keep him without the makeup, and then he ended up doing several episodes, and he was a big part of it.
Damn, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool as hell. Like,
speaking of black people in Star Wars, they're thinking of making another Mace Windu.
I hope they do.
Yeah.
Like young Mace?
No, I don't know if it's going to be young or not, but they were saying that he's going to reprise his role, and it's not going to be young because it's going to be Samuel Jackson playing it. And the director is Ron Howard's daughter.
Okay.
And I don't think she's ever even directed a movie or ever anything like that before, but I don't know.
I'm down. It's in the business.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people want to be mad about Nepo babies. Like they're only getting this because their dad's in there.
Okay.
But it's like, that's like you being mad that the guy working on your house is only working on it because his dad worked on houses too.
Right. But what if his dad's really good at working on houses?
That's why you're like, let's give this guy a chance.
Yeah.
When they mess up, it's like, hey, go over there, go do something else.
Like Jesus was a carpenter, but they're like, oh, he only got this job because he's the son of God. What if Jesus was a great carpenter, man? Jesus.
I know that's Jesus really just wanted to be a fisherman. That's why he's always hanging out on water.
Yeah, he was so good. He was walking on water. It's fishing is easy. Look at this. Look at this. Just cast your net out now.
That was all stepdaddy Joseph, just all upset.
But a lot of people are kind of hating on Star Wars because like the direction it's taking. I mean, I heard Kathleen Kennedy is going to retire, and it keeps popping up as a rumor.
Yeah.
But this time I heard it's really going to happen. But you know, Star Wars put out some garbage, you know. But just like a Raiders fan, we had some seasons that were garbage, you know. But I'm not going to change my loyalty to the team. I'm a Raider fan, die hard.
Well, like I was feeling that way with Star Wars with the last few movies that came out. I'm like, these are kind of garbage. It's really not my thing. But then, like when they brought back this TV series,
yeah,
like the Mandalorian
Boba
revolved
Fett.
it. Boba Fett revolved. They're gonna do a Darth Vader.
A Darth Vader.
And I can't wait. Oh, this is what I'm excited about.
Is it going to be live action, do you know? Or is it going to be cartoon?
I think it's going to be live action.
Ooh.
Because, this is why I'm excited about like hearing Samuel Jackson coming back. Because they're bringing back Darth Maul too.
Yeah.
Like that was cool. Because
that's an animated series and it's going to take place after the Clone Wars. Because he died.
Yeah.
He died in the Clone Wars, but nobody ever dies in movies and comic books, you know?
Like if you could use the Force to like stop the bleeding, you could survive.
He got cut at the waist, so he's supposed to be robotic from the waist down. So if you thought he was pissed back then, he's going to be pissed even more because he has no penis. You know what I mean? So he's going to be raging like, ugh. And then I guess in the comic books and the cartoon series, he was brought back to life by the witches of Darth Maul or something like that. I can't pronounce the name. I'm getting it wrong, but they are witches, and then they actually have him come back. They rescue him, and then his brother is also in there, Savage Opress.
Well,
so he looks like Darth Maul, but he's yellow. He's got yellow tattoos.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, represent my Asian people.
That's what I like about like this next generation of Star Wars. Because to me, the first Star Wars and the first three will always be the only.
Okay.
Will always be canon. Those are the only and honestly, I really am just a fan of the first one.
The very first one, New Hope?
The very first one.
Oh, okay.
Because it's a concise story.
It's a complete story.
It's a complete story.
They win at the end.
Yeah, they win at the end. And then like the next two and the second and third one, I feel they make more campy. They add romance that doesn't need to be added.
Okay.
Han Solo became my favorite character.
Right.
And then they killed him off.
The later ones, right?
Even so, I loved Han Solo till the end. He was a deadbeat dad, like he should have been. You could be a hero in a war, but you're gonna be a deadbeat dad no matter what.
He hung out with Mexicans like Chewie. He had it's like pretty much a lowrider, the Millennium Falcon in space. You know what I mean? It's like a lowrider.
He's able to run through the one of those zones in 12 parsecs by himself.
Yeah. The Kessel Run.
The Kessel one in 12 parsecs.
He's like, I cruise Whittier Boulevard in 12 seconds.
See, like the Star Wars, that specific scene where where they're introducing Han Solo.
Okay.
I'm gonna say is one of the reasons why like collecting is a valuable thing.
Wait, when did he get introduced in Star Wars? In the cantina.
In the cantina.
Yeah,
scene.
and then he kills that dude
when he shoots first.
Yeah, and then they changed it later.
Changed it. You're never gonna get that. You're never gonna get a VHS that's gonna get that change.
Right.
If you have the VHS of that
copy of that,
you're gonna see Han's.
Han shoots first.
Like,
it's like a deep fake. They've changed it.
They changed. Like that's like the problem with like when shit changes. That's like just the fact that we're on the collectors pod, that I'm on your podcast about collectibles. That's why I'm like, I think like collecting is going to be way more valuable.
Okay.
Because now fakes are easier to make. Deep fakes are easier to make. Like if someone wants to make their own like Star Wars, they could like program it into a computer.
Right.
And like now, like to actually have something that is, hey, this is an original product. You're gonna have that collector's like proof. You're gonna either have the paperwork or
so the value of it is gonna be worth more.
Yeah, the value of it's gonna have. That's what's gonna keep it alive. Like there's nothing like I was trying to think about how consistent the market for collectibles is.
Okay.
And that's one of the reasons is because the only thing that makes a market for a collectible die is when there's no more fandom. When no one gives a shit about it anymore.
Right.
That's why Beanie Babies were like in the 90s were like $300.
Right.
And now they're like 25 cents for 25.
So that's why episode 4, 5, 6 will also be classic. But then 7, 8, 9, those are the ones that like they made Luke look like a little wussy.
Yeah.
And all that. So all those toys are really cheap right now. The value of that is really bad. Like you shouldn't even buy any toys from that thing. And then the Acolytes is another thing that proved that you shouldn't buy any of the toys from that either. Like they're just the resale on that is terrible.
You got this is why the only first 3 are my favorite, because 7, 8, 9, you had Luke Skywalker throwing his lightsaber like it's trash.
Yeah.
You're like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, Luke Skywalker wouldn't do that, bro. And then he's sucking on the titty of some weird kind of animal. Like, what happened to Luke, bro? He's just lost it, bro.
Like when you get introduced to Obi-Wan, like you're thinking, man, this guy's kind of living rough,
right?
And then they reintroduce Luke. You're like, hold my beer, let me show you what rough living is.
Yeah, you don't know what rough is, bro. Like,
I'm sucking space titties out here.
Yeah, I heard Mark Hamill just really didn't like that, but Disney has the money and they pay the bucks. He's just reading the lines. But if he had a chance to change it, he would definitely I wouldn't do this, But they lost creative control of it.
That's like the saddest thing when you see something you love get taken down notches.
Like the Tuck rule with the Raiders and Brady, and I still can't get over that happening, And I was a Raider fan, and so we're seeing that. But it's kind of like what's happening to the franchise. That's why you bring up the newer episodes that are coming out. It's really great. Like I'm excited about it. Like you said, Darth Maul. Mm-hmm. Then they have Ahsoka Part 2's coming out, and then they have Ryan Gosling is going to be playing in the I think it's called Jedi Starfighter or something like that. But I'm like,
Did you ever play? They had a bunch of video games afterwards. That if you are into like video games that are super cheap and really good,
right?
Knights of the Old Republic,
so
good.
Yeah, they have Darth Nihilus in there. A lot of the characters coming out of that, like I don't play the games because I have things to do in life. I have responsibilities. But when you play the games, then they have stories that go through, right?
Yeah.
So then someone goes through YouTube and puts all the stories together, so you can go on YouTube and watch the whole story of that video game.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's great. I don't have to play the game,
dude.
And I can watch what's going on. It's like a feature film almost.
Well, that's where like you're into what you collect, because you go into the mythos, you go deep into like
Yes.
where everything's coming from. Like
Yes.
for Knights of the Old Republic, they bring up like the old Jedi temples, and you have to run
Ooh.
around and learn like different force maneuvers, and they have
Ooh.
this all this lore that you won't find in the movies.
Right. Right.
Like you just be like, oh, when did that happen? Like with Darth Maul having his body torn apart.
Yeah.
That's in the comic books.
Right.
That's in
Right.
the comics.
Yep. Yep. There's another character, Darth Malgus.
Mhm.
He's pretty tough, and he's before Darth Vader. And then the thing about Darth Vader is he fell in love. He couldn't see his mom dying, so he killed all the sand people.
Yeah.
And then his wife, he fell in love with her, and then he wanted to rule the empire or the world with her.
Yeah.
But this Darth Malgus was so much a Sith Lord that he killed his girlfriend
See.
because she was getting in the way of his stand-up comedy. I mean, of his dark side. But you know how sometimes you're in a relationship and they don't want you to go out to the show, or they don't want you to hang out, and you got to spend time in your relationship, and it kind of slows you down, and you're growing in comedy.
Yeah, that's why I'm single.
Yeah, I mean,
I've had 8 of those moments.
right. So you're like Darth Malgus. He just killed his relationship, to prove that he was really down for the cause, and down to be a Sith.
Oh, so
Sith
many
Lords
times.
are badass.
There's been several times in my life where I've broken up and I've ended up sleeping in my car or couch surfing
Uh-huh.
because I've been like, I don't need to live here. And I'm
Right.
just like sleeping in my car, like I gotta go to a show in an hour. Let me take a nap. My one true love is calling.
Yeah, that's one thing she'll never you know what I mean?
What man.
Comedy will never leave you, right? It's up to you to leave that.
It's tough because like I've been trying. The closest I've gotten was explaining it to people who understand entrepreneurship. Because I'm just like, if you started a business, it's going to be hard no matter what.
Right.
You have to get clientele no matter what. And like as an entertainer, it's the only business where people don't let you grow. They see you at a point, and even if it's at a point of failure, they don't like accept it. Like, oh yeah, right. Like if it was normal, people would be like, oh, it's kind of winter right now. No one is looking for plumbing to be done, or like it's kind of the summertime right now. No one wants their heat to be worked on.
Right.
Like it's just one of those moments of like, hey, everyone has ups and downs.
Right.
So when you're working in comedy, you have to explain to people like, this is what I'm pursuing.
Right.
It's again like if I connect it to collectibles, you're trying to yell at someone who is like, you understand how much this is worth, and they're like, nah, it's a toy, and it's not a fucking toy.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like I have all my toys in my room.
Yeah.
So if someone comes over, they're not bombarded with that. Manny's house, I don't know if you've been to it, but you open the door and it's just like George Lucas threw up in there. and it's like, well, he's cock blocking himself, but he doesn't care. He's like, my toys are more important. F these girls, whatever. This is what I love. It's my passion. And if they don't love me for that, then they're not worth being like part of my life.
It's so funny. I was thinking how as men, like we grow from boys to teenagers and teenagers to men and men to elder men.
Uh-huh.
And as boys, we have interest in like in toys, video games, and everything else but girls.
Right.
And then there's a point between like 12 and like 42 where it's just women and girls.
Right.
And then about 42, it starts to wean off, and you're just
It's like women wearing Star Wars clothes to bed.
Yeah.
And I think it gets to the point where your thing doesn't work anymore, so you don't care about women, and you like what makes you more happier are the nostalgia.
Dude, I love
things that remind you of your childhood.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that my thing doesn't work as much anymore. Only I'm like Excalibur. Get it out with true love.
Yeah. Only the true person can wield this sword. You're like, oh, you didn't make it happen, bro.
You can try to pretend you're attracted to me, but that knows the difference.
And then you hear about women that stick through their relationship with and then they were there for the times were bad, and they were still around. They stuck through and helped you out. You know what I mean?
Oh,
and then they're because most women or people in relationships say, "Oh, I understand. I'll be supportive," but they don't fully understand what we go through unless you're a comedian yourself and you kind of know that.
Yeah.
But then you ever try to date a comedian chick? That's the worst thing too. It's like, yeah, she understands the comedy and when you have to put the time in and the work and even just hanging out at a club, but they're not. It's not going to be as funny as you, and that makes that drive home very uncomfortable.
Oh.
If you do well and then they eat it, It's like, oh man,
I always make sure that at least I think the person I'm with is funny.
it's fine. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because like,
But are you biased because you're getting some?
nah. Because
No.
if they're not funny, I'm not even attracted to them. Honestly, if they're
okay.
not funny and they're on stage, I'm just like, oh, you make bad decisions. I don't want to be around you.
You're not you're not funny now, but you can get some funny in you.
Yeah.
I can help you like inches at a time.
But honestly, the girls that I dated that are comics, they were either at the same level that I'm doing it at, or just starting off, or because like I was dating this one girl and we met at a show. It was a VFW show,
Okay.
and it was like a daytime Christmas show, and we ended up dating. And I was going out to doing comedy every night, and she was someone who would go out when she got booked.
Okay.
So it was like, hey, I'm going out again. And we ended up living together. And she's like, you're going out doing comedy 5-6 times a night.
You're like,
and I'm like, yeah, and then like it took her months to realize, oh no, you do comedy. Like this is what you do. Like I was with the girl.
What she says her hobby?
Yeah. Well, it was more or less like a hobby for her than like a career.
Yeah.
And then like even people I met that say it's their career, and I explain how much I do comedy, how much like it actually takes over my life.
Right.
They're just like, well, you need to do more than just comedy if you want to be on stage. And I've been like, no, dude. Like it's so much work that like if you don't have life experiences coming into it, you're gonna have a hard time starting off. Because it's just you're starting from zero.
Right.
Like I got lucky. I started at 18. I had a pretty crazy life for the first 18 years.
Okay.
And like the next 18 years were crazy too.
Right.
So I'm lucky to like just throw those experiences in.
So if you're 18 and a virgin and you still lived at home with your mom, like you really wouldn't have a lot of life experience, right?
Yeah.
How old were you when you lost your virginity? Is that
I was
too
like
personal?
15.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did it behind the band room in some bushes.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, Johnny's at band practice again.
Well, it was
Was it your girlfriend at the time, or is it with
yeah, no, it was my
trumpet
girlfriend
player?
at the time. Yeah.
Clarinet, or is it?
Oh, dude, the best thing about like growing up in a ghetto neighborhood, because I grew up in Almonte, bands were just dates. Going to like band practice, marching band, would go out on like whatever march, whatever like a parade.
Okay.
After the parade would just be at a date.
Oh.
So I'd have a girlfriend I'd have a girlfriend like every few months.
Oh wow. Okay. Do you talk about that in your stand-up?
No.
No, but it's just life experience.
Just life experiences.
Yeah.
Like I was only people that I really hung out with as a kid were nerdy kids. Like I have a bunch of different friends from ethnicities, but that's because they're nerds.
So are you friends with any of those girls that in band or anything like that? Were any of them collectibles?
And
Or you just opened it, played with it, and then like
just
the value went down?
Opened it, played with it, and my value went down.
Your value. That was a good save.
But it was it was interesting being because I learned to talk to girls by not going to pre-algebra.
Oh,
I was in math class. I asked to go to pre-algebra. They didn't let me go. So there's these two girls in front of me, and I consciously made a decision like I already know the stuff they're teaching here.
In pre-algebra?
Yeah, no, it was in regular math. Like
okay.
Like adding.
How come they didn't want you to go up?
Because
you're Latino?
The class started 2 weeks prior.
Oh,
that was the only reason.
Oh, okay. Math is hard to start when you have to come back from behind. Like if you're on board day one,
yeah,
it's easier to follow. Like if you miss homework assignments, you get lost behind in math.
Yeah, like especially with like pre-algebra and stuff because they start adding like new formulas.
Right.
But like since I already knew the stuff, I chose to learn to talk to girls. So I learned how to like make the girls in front of me laugh.
Okay.
I'd come back with like a joke, or me and my buddy would be sitting behind them and would be like, "Okay, you talk to her, I'll talk to her." Da, da, da. And
right.
Just like, all right, cool.
Yeah, so they added up.
Yeah.
So you were actually doing math, right?
But that's where I learned like, oh, cool. And also I have
That's where you got your smoothness?
I kind of.
All right.
It was like my dad, having a dad helps. Like, having a dad, my dad just told me girls want it as much as guys.
Okay. Yeah.
And that was like his whole talk.
Right.
And that's all I kind of needed to know. Like, oh, Okay, thanks, Dad.
What did your dad do? Did he collect anything at all?
Just fades.
Fades?
Always
Oh,
running
it was
fades.
fighting?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
really?
Well, he was a cholo.
Oh, okay.
Like his whole thing was gang banging, selling weed. He was making money and then being a bum. Like that's his whole thing.
So was it like he was in a gang, but he didn't want you or your family to be involved like that?
Yes
Or was
and
he
no.
jumping you in already? Like,
No, no.
pride?
Like he was in a gang, but he later on in life he almost died, and he heard like the voice of God tell him, "Don't go to the park."
Oh,
And then
okay.
later on, he got a call from his friend. Hey, we just got shot up at the park.
Dang.
Yeah. And my
Yeah.
dad was like, oh, I need to go find God.
Okay.
Because my mom found God before.
Right.
My mom was in like a car accident. She was already going to church. She got in this car accident. Everything burns but the Bible.
Whoa.
Yeah. So my mom like goes into this like pursuit of God.
Okay.
And she was a chola. She like worked for like the mafia. She worked for a bunch of people.
Wow.
She went to prison for running guns. Like,
This is all before the accident?
There was all
the
before
life
the
that she
accident.
lived.
Yeah.
Okay. And is that how your parents met each other? Like they were like Bonnie and Clyde, or like
Nah, they met when they were like 12.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
they met in Boyle Heights when they were 12.
In the band camp or
No. In the gang camp.
Oh, like that. Okay.
But no, because they joined different gangs. My mom ended up joining a gang from Amani, my dad from Boyle
Oh.
Heights.
So it's like West Side Story.
Yeah.
Maria.
Yeah, very much. Anna.
Anna.
Yeah.
Anna can Hannah.
But
Wow, okay.
like when they got together, it was like maybe 15 years after knowing each other. Still, it wasn't like they were dating consistently.
Okay.
But my dad would call her on her birthday. Hey, just saying happy birthday. Oh, I'm over in like Louisiana in Job Corps. Hey, just saying happy birthday. Oh, I'm in jail. Blah blah blah.
Oh, okay. But just consistently throughout the years, and
Yeah.
they end up eventually hooking up.
Eventually hooked up. Eventually, like my dad married my mom. They got married in Vegas, and then they found out I was being born. And then like throughout, like it took a few years for them to find God.
Okay.
And then after that, that's when they like started like going to the church a lot and raising me to be more of a ethical, upstanding citizen.
Okay.
And with that, I think with that allowed me to be a nerd.
All right.
Like my parents, like letting me stay in and play video games, just seeing me not cause trouble and like read books and
Right. They're like, good, mijo.
yeah.
So they didn't mind you playing games because they didn't want you out in the streets running around.
Yeah,
Because
like
they knew what's out there from their experiences.
well, I was also like a guy who would play games for 8 hours.
Uh-huh.
Like we were talking about it minutes ago. Like we have responsibilities.
Right.
When I turned 30, I had to stop playing video games
Right.
because it was a 10-hour habit.
Wow.
Dude, it was like I would sit down and be like, okay, I go out. I got by 5 o'clock. I play for like 4 hours. 5 o'clock hits. I'll go out and do an open mic. I'll go do a show. I'll come back and do whatever.
And then
5 o'clock would
5 hours.
hit. 6, 7, 8, 9.
Oh.
And then like you feel it when your eyes disconnect from your brain.
Ooh, okay.
Like when you're looking at the computer so long that when you look over at something else, you're still like kind of processing the information like you're processing it in a computer.
Right.
It's like it's such a weird like hypnotization to be in.
Yeah, and I heard some video games they stop you if you play too long, and they say, "Hey, you got to lay off the game for like so many hours.
That's
They won't let you come back."
I think that's only in China or Japan where they care about their kids.
They care about yeah. Well, I remember my brother would play some of those shooting games, and then he would get that thing, and I would come home like, "How can you not play?" He's, "Oh, they stopped me." I was like, what? But they stopped you. But it's actually because people get seizures and tremors and stuff like that.
Damn.
If you play too long. And then like he was playing a zombie movie, and I would sit there and just watch him. Like, because some kids now they don't even play; they just go on YouTube and watch gamers play
Yeah.
because they're so good at it. And it's like I get frustrated; I can't pass the level. Then you have to go to YouTube and look it up how to do it. Then you could pass it up.
Yeah.
But my brother would play hours. I'd be watching zombies, and then I would come outside and then I'd go to like downtown. There was a lot of homeless people, and they're still stuck in that zombie mode, and they look like zombies. Like, oh, fuck, this is crazy. This is crazy. This is like The Walking Dead. But you can't binge on some stuff. You got to take a break from it for a while.
Well, like I don't know, video games are they're a thing that you can't really collect anymore
Right.
because it's going straight to digital.
Right. So you don't even buy the case no more. Huh? You just buy
No,
it on the
they
PS5.
and you buy a license for it too.
Mm.
So like if the gaming company decides, hey, we don't want to provide this game to you anymore, you can't even play it.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Wow,
Like,
that's
and
wild.
they've been doing this thing for decades now where they sell you a partial video game where it's like, oh, you want to buy the updates?
Yeah, then you got to pay for the updates.
Yeah. It's like,
Yeah,
what?
yeah. So it's not a one-time fee. You got to keep adding onto it. Huh?
No, I remember like the games would come in.
Damn, they got us.
They got us good, fool.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the games would come in like these fancy packagings. Like the one what I brought in last time. I brought a Pit Boy from Fallout 3.
Right,
Came in this big old thing. The casing was steel. It has the CDs in it.
right.
And that's one of the last things that's gonna be like that.
Wow. Because my daughter is like, oh, I download this game. It's free. I'm like, all right, but it's Roblox.
Mhm.
But then you go to Target and you have to buy 25 gift cards, $50, even $100. You know.
Yeah.
So they're getting you that. Like, what do you need this money for? Oh, so I could change my outfit, or I can change my
Mhm.
character, or I can get wings, or I can this and that. I go, oh, so that stuff isn't free, you know? It's like, and then what do you get the extra accessories for? It's just to show off.
Yeah.
So you have like little bling bling on for other people that are playing other gamers.
So you can show a little bit like, hey, I spent $15.
Yeah, I'm different from you or whatever. It's like what?
You used to be able to do that for free.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I remember like in video games, you would program it, like change out the skins, or you'd program it, change out like how your character was, and
Or to make it kind of look like you or whatever you dress or wear.
you can upload like artifacts, like weapons and stuff to be different.
Yeah,
And now they're just bypassing all of that.
you got to pay for
You
everything.
got to pay for every little thing. That's why it's fun to play old games. Old games are done when you're finished. You play it, you're done in like a few hours. They
Right.
time it all out.
Right.
Nowadays, they're going to keep adding stuff.
Even Pac-Man, right? You can go to the highest level and get like 15 keys or something like that. But after that, it's still the same pattern. You just gotta go.
Dude, I've never gotten that good at Pac-Man.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, I think I might have got 1 or 2 keys, but there were games that I loved, like Q*bert.
Yeah.
That was a great game. I would do pretty good on that. But still, you're not spending 8 to 10 hours on it.
But you're also not spending like another $20 on what you just got.
Yeah, and they were 25 cents to play.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like that's it. You're done. You're done. You're out. You're over.
But I think that's the only way I can see how getting clothing in video games is similar to like the old school way.
Mm.
Because I would get like $5 and throw it in Street Fighter, play
Okay.
for like an hour. I'll be done. At least like when kids now, they get their whatever like costume they have and they get to keep it. They get to play with it. It's like theirs to own for
Right.
whatever it means. But oh my God, that's so much money.
It is.
Like, and you have a kid, like you have to.
Yeah, and
Like-
then the games now it's like GameWorks or whatever. So you go there and you put money on a card. It's not even coins anymore. And you know, next thing you know, $50 is gone already just from them playing a
Jeez.
game. And what do they get? Like 18 tickets to get a little kazoo at the end. Like, oh my gosh, I just got raped and they're giving me a kazoo. Like,
Well, that's where that's also like there's digital collecting.
oh man.
Like those things that are limited releases,
Uh-huh.
people have them and then they trade them for other things too.
Digital?
Yeah.
Like, so what do you mean? Like it's like how do you trade it? Like so you never ever physically hold it or see
You
it?
never physically hold it,
Eee.
but if you able to get like, hey, you got the pre-order of Spider-Man 4 and you get this costume that you only get with pre-orders. And now that's something that you have that others don't.
Oh wow.
And
Wow.
that's the form of collecting that we're moving into.
It's crazy. Are you a big costume guy? I mean, because this we're celebrating May the 4th, and a lot of people like May the 4th. They get hyped up, and then they wear Star Wars costumes at work. You know, they try to get everybody to wear a Star Wars outfit at work, or you know, it's an excuse for you to dress up. It's not Halloween.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of. I never really dressed up too much because it's too nerdy for me. I thought, you know,
It's too soft.
it's too
Yeah.
soft. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah, I feel I always wanted to. It's just expensive. That's the only reason I didn't.
I would go to like a sex party if everybody wore like Jedi robes and nothing else underneath it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, yeah, it's Jedi robe sex party. It would kind of be cool, I guess, but I don't know.
Yeah, Jedi robes with glow in the dark condoms.
A glow, yeah. I mean, you got to see, are you dark side or are you the light side? Let me see.
Hey, you got to go last. You got a big old lightsaber.
I would probably think I'm tearing it up, but I realize it's just a droid. I'm like, oh no, I got a bad feeling about this.
Yeah, these droids are not the one you're coming for.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's hilarious. Manny never would have said that. But yeah, May the 4th is a big celebration. And actually, Tales of the Underground gets released today on May the 4th. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm excited about that. I don't know if you heard about that, but it's Asajj Ventress and Cad Bane. It's about bounty hunters and stuff like that. Boba Fett when he's a little kid.
Yeah.
So it's a cartoon series coming out. I think it's going to be 6 episodes.
See, it's kind of weird because I am way more interested in the non-Jedi stories.
Okay, yeah.
Because anytime they introduce a Jedi, it's always like the demigod shows up.
Right.
And it's like, oh man, how do we defeat a god?
Right.
But like when Boba Fett shows up, he's just a badass.
Yeah.
Boba Fett's like, oh yeah, you have Force. I got 15 mines for you to hold on to.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, when the best fight scene that is underrated in all of Star Wars history is the Boba Fett versus Qui-Gon Jinn.
Oh, Boba Fett, Qui-Gon Jinn. No.
Versus
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Obi-Wan Kenobi, yeah.
But it was a Jango Fett.
It was Jango Fett.
Yeah, Boba's dad, yeah.
Yeah. When Jango Fett launched himself off in that rocket and Obi-Wan tried to like fight him and just got handled.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's raining right there, right?
Yeah,
there
it's
in Camino.
raining.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan thinks he has like the advantage.
Yeah.
Jango's just like, nah, here's some rockets. I'm gonna shoot at you. You ain't gonna touch me.
Yeah.
The best fight.
And then Boba Fett's he gets in the ship, he's a little kid and he's shooting. I was like, oh man, Boba Fett's even bad too. I love bounty hunters. That's one of my favorite things. Like in The Empire Strikes Back, which was my favorite movie. Yours was The New Hope, right?
Yeah.
But Empire Strikes Back was one of my favorites because it didn't have a happy ending, you know, and the Emperor wins and stuff. But then they hire bounty hunters and they get Boba Fett, and then they get that reptilian guy looking Bosk, the robot IG-88, Zuckuss, and Dengar. So these like 5 or 6 other bounty hunters that you know nothing about. And it's like every one of these guys could have a backstory.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like now with the new series coming out, Boba Fett, you know, they show IG-88, the robot, they show Bosk, and then you see him in action, and it's like, wow, because you only see these guys 5 minutes on The Empire Strikes Back, you know?
Yeah.
But then now, like Jon Favreau ends up making the Boba Fett series, and he includes those people in there. And it's pretty cool because they have these Ugnaughts. They're really small, and they work on mechanics of making droids, and they're the mechanics on the Death Star. But then he actually has one character, and he's played by Nick Nolte, the voice.
That's cool.
And he's a Mandalorian, and you know, and it's kind of cool. As a fan of Star Wars, when they bring these Easter eggs or these things, they bring them back, and you see the backstories. It's pretty awesome.
Well, because like there's and when they diminish the Jedi, it's the everybody else that I got excited for. Like when Luke Skywalker threw his lightsaber into the ocean, I felt like that was all the fans.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You're right. Fuck that. I want to see more of the rebels because I think if they would, you know, that scene when Han Solo, Leia, they all walk in on a dinner, and it's and Darth Vader's at the front.
Yeah.
And like Han Solo immediately tries to shoot him and he stops it.
Yeah.
Han Solo's the best character in Star Wars.
He always shoots first.
He did no hesitation. Oh shit, is that Darth Vader? No questions.
Yeah, just blasting. Okay. And then how was Darth Vader gonna eat? They had this whole meal set out, and I always wondered that. Like, he doesn't have a straw or something. Like, how is he gonna eat, bro? This is all bull. The food probably wasn't even real.
Like that scene showed me how powerful the Empire was. Because they just walked into a trap and they're just like, hey guys.
Yeah.
We control this planet too.
Yeah.
And seeing that made me realize, oh, that's how bad they are. Like before, I just thought the Empire was like a few planets that were like destroying things.
Right.
Or one main planet destroying. But like when I saw how vast that power is,
yeah,
it's like, oh, it's not just like Jedi versus Jedi. It's like one Jedi versus an entire star system.
Yeah, because the planet, like the Cloud City, which was run by Lando Calrissian, they feared the Empire because what the Empire could do to them.
Yeah.
Jedi's were just protectors of this and that, whatever. But the Empire, they'll take over your whole mining facility and claim it as theirs, and now you have to like eat shit and be gone. So yeah, they were very powerful and scared. People were scared of them.
As they should be. They were, because they didn't only, destroying your planet was probably the best case scenario if the Empire got a hold of your planet.
Right.
Because through the Mandalorian, you saw how like the Empire would go to planets, take everything away from them, enslave all their people, and then just make them into stormtroopers for them.
Yes.
And like steal their children, make them into stormtroopers, and then it's just like, oh, this is why.
Right.
This is why you're fighting the Empire so vividly.
Then they took it to another level. Instead of taking over your country or your planet, now they're just gonna blow the whole thing up because they did that. They have the Death Star now,
Yeah.
and now they don't even have to go into your planet and infiltrate it and recruit people. They're just gonna destroy the whole planet itself.
Just like, hey, you're on board or you're not.
Yeah, right. Get on the ship and go to America, or stay here in Africa.
See,
we're gonna kill you, and we're gonna take away your food, and we're gonna
see the new Death Star that they made for like 6, 7, 8, right? No, 7, 8, and 9. When that Death Star could kill 5 planets at once.
Yeah.
I liked the concept, but just as as a fan of sci-fi, I'm like, you could have made a new weapon. You just put a spout on your blaster.
Now you can water 5 planets. Well, the thing, I think why you like the first one, New Hope, because George Lucas, when he made that movie, he didn't think it was going to be a success.
Yeah.
So that's why the Death Star was supposed to be in the last one, really, but he made it in the first one so they can have a good, happy ending and blowing it up. But because it was so successful, they had to recreate another Death Star, but this time make it even bigger.
Yeah.
But now with the other ones, 7, 8, 9, or whatever, it's ginormous. It's too big.
Well, like you were talking on George Perez stories, 10 o'clock Monday nights. Like you're talking
live.
Like your daughter's getting into that 70s show.
Yeah.
And that show helped me realize how big of a movie that was. Because there's an episode where like Star Wars comes out, and even Red goes to watch it.
Right.
And at the end scene, when it blows up in front of him, he's like, whoa, that was pretty cool. And that phase right there showed me like, that's how America reacted.
Yeah.
When they saw that big of an explosion on screen, whoa.
Right.
This shit's cool.
Yeah, they have so many references of Star Wars on there too.
Yeah.
And then Jordan's like, that's like you, Dad. That's like you. And that's like me. And I'm like, all right. So it's like, now I'm buying her Star Wars toys as well.
That's cool as hell.
Yeah. Or I'm giving her my old ones. It's
Yeah.
like, all right. Okay. It's cool.
Well, no, because that's that bonding moment. Like you need bonding moments with parents to become good people.
Right.
That's why Anakin was a bad person. He didn't have a dad to show him, hey, don't take out all your rage on the Tauntauns. Don't take out all your rage on kids.
Yeah, right.
He had no one to bond with.
Right.
All he knew was like, oh, if I get off this planet, I'm killing everyone.
So you think if he knew who his dad was, he'd be a different person?
Definitely.
He wouldn't be that.
He
wouldn't be Darth Vader.
Nah, Anakin would have been like, hey, man, don't talk to me like that.
I'm going to tell my dad.
Tell my dad on you. Instead of his mom, okay, Anakin, remember, don't grow up to be a bitch. You got to crush anybody standing in your way.
Yeah, but sometimes having a father too could be like, it could
Oh,
be
no.
tough too.
It's
Right?
tough.
'Cause
No,
girls that
true.
grow up without a father have excuses, but then girls that have a father they'd say, "Oh, you're not like my dad. My dad would never do this."
That's why I getting older, I'm very much into knowing who I'm dating and how their parents are.
Okay, yeah.
Because it's just like, oh, what do you expect from another person in your life?
So if a girl you're dating and both parents are still together, is that a good sign for you or a bad
That's a
sign?
great sign.
Uh-huh.
Because like I see it as someone that saw two people work it out,
Right. Okay.
as opposed to seeing it's two people that
Later, I'm gone.
like even if they couldn't work it out, like as long as they tried to like stick together and have like some type of like relationship,
Mhm.
that's better than like
Right.
because that in your brain you're seeing like your future. You're seeing like how life is
Right.
gonna be.
Right.
So like it's like we're little robots ourselves. Everything's being programmed into us.
It's like a pattern.
Yeah. So like being able to see like your parents loving towards each other, you can express that towards someone. Or being able to see your father passionate about something, you can able to mimic that. Being able to see your mother caring about something,
Right.
able to mimic that.
Right.
But like when you're trying to show what the other parent is, because like parenting's hard.
Definitely.
Like you can't, like I'm not a parent. And that's
Apparently.
the reason. No. No, that's the reason. Like I can't parent.
Right.
It's a lot of responsibility.
So you don't ever want to have kids?
I don't think I do. I'm like 30. I'm 38 right now.
Okay.
I don't like if I would have had them by now, I probably would have.
Well, I had my daughter when I was 45.
Oh, hell yeah, then. Okay.
I met her at senior center. No. I mean, it's never too late. People say when I'm ready, but you're never really ready, ever ready.
I think maturing makes you better.
Mm-hmm.
I think when you're a mature adult, it makes you better to raise a child.
Right.
Because I see my sisters raising their kids as like 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds. And a lot of it is onset panic from external sources. Like a lot of it is just like, watch out, there's bees coming in. And you might not even be in an area that has bees. But since you have so many people telling you to watch out about bees, you're worried your kid's going to get stung.
Right.
Instead,
that sounds like a good title for a special.
Watch out, there's bees.
No. Onset panic for external forces.
Yeah. You're getting onset panic, external forces. Yeah. Yes. Like worried about shit that doesn't involve you.
Yeah.
That's
or worrying about stuff that could potentially happen, but you're worrying about something that could potentially happen. It's not.
That's not like
written in stone that it's going to be that way.
Like this last election, there was a huge. I think the last election was toppled because there was a whole like movement for trans people.
Okay.
And there was a lot of people that were just like, how am I going to explain it to my kids and blah, blah, blah. But like I grew up in a neighborhood where there's this one guy, he dressed up like a woman. He walked around dressed up like a woman. And my parents were just like, he's on drugs. That's all.
That was very.
That's all there is. Like as I got older, I learned, oh no, he was like going through things. He was like learning about his identity. He was learning about himself. But that didn't like seeing that guy didn't put in my brain like, oh, I guess that's what we all could do. Like
if we do drugs,
like I guess we all could be women if we want to be. I guess because that's not something that's in everybody.
No.
But like that external fear that like, hey, what if they put that in your kid? It's like that's not how that shit works.
Yeah.
That's not like. But since you have a kid, you have to worry about that.
Right.
Because it's your first time parenting too.
Right.
Like, it's your first time raising someone new.
Well, did you see what Trump did his first day in office? He's like, there's no more them, they. It's just he or she. That's it.
He did that, which was interesting because it really affected scientists more than anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're affecting what science is doing, you're affecting the health of the population that you're working with.
How's that? Like,
because like there's the reason why scientists were using they them instead of he she was because there is intersex people that have XYX XXY.
Yeah, but that's like 0.0001 people. Like it's definitely not the majority.
Yeah, and that's like that's the amount of people that like they them were actually affecting. But since it was blown up into this thing that is now a visual thing.
Yeah, where you have these
where you see like people
transgender swimmers beating the women like by miles and laps, and they're getting the gold, and then the women are like protesting it, like in sports, right? It's not
kind of, because even then, like the transgender athletes, they weren't the best. They were getting beat by girls too.
Well, they were probably ranked with the men, like in the under 100, like or over 100. Like they were not really.
Yeah, they were
top 10.
Jumping definitely top 10.
Yeah,
but like that's I think that's what I found the humor in it. I was like, there's these transgender like men transitioning to women that had the muscle mass of men
and still
were still losing. Like I felt that the number one thing that really got hurt, and it is when we got too politically correct about ugly people. That's the number one thing, because like it was a few years back when like everyone, like you just couldn't say someone was ugly.
Okay, yeah.
You couldn't be like, oh, that guy's ugly.
Uh-huh.
And people, hey, people,
That's messed up.
that's messed up, man. We're all beautiful in a way,
Right.
because like that, like they forced athletes that are women that are not attractive because they're athletes to be in this position of like, well, you don't look like a woman, and like that last Olympics. It was the Italian boxer versus this like Turkish boxer. And the Italian boxer was this like dainty female, and the Turkish boxer was a beast of a female.
Yeah, like, but it looked like he was kind of a dude almost.
Because she was ugly. No one said that. No one was like, hey, that's an ugly woman.
Right.
Why? Because she's getting punched in the face 25 times a day. You're not a beautiful person if you're getting kicked and punched all the time. That's why, like, you look all like, oh, that person's in my fight.
I thought it really was a dude, and they just put cornrows on him, to make it look like a chick. But I was like, dude, because no upper body, and that's like, and he was, or she, or whatever, was just destroying that person, like not even giving him a chance.
That like, it was hilarious when like they were saying, oh, that person was transgendered, and then turned out to be a woman.
Oh wow!
And like they're like when they're running the interviews, the woman that was like accusing her was just like, I've never been hit so hard in my life. And it was like, yeah, you're at the fucking Olympics,
right?
The hardest hitters are here.
But the way she said it sounded like it was women's strength versus men's strength. You know?
Yeah.
I mean?
And that's why people got all up in arms. Like, oh, look at them. And then it came out, oh no, she's just a badass athlete.
Dang.
Who is really great at boxing.
But ugly.
Ugly. And it's just like, I find talent attractive.
Well, before they would have the Victoria's Secret models, and they would be up there very pretty, right? But they were on the borderline of bulimia or anorexia, like really skinny,
Yeah.
So it was almost like, no way the average person is gonna be like buying these bras or this lingerie, because they won't fit into it. It's only geared to those people that are supposedly what beautiful looks like,
Yeah.
But now you go to Target and then you see the ads for the models, and they're like disfigured. A lot of them have really bad freckles, or they have skin like the stuff that Michael Jackson had, or psoriasis,
the skin blemishment.
Or they're really fat, out of shape, and it's like, okay, I understand the balance, but now you're glorifying someone that's like obese.
Because
is that what we want America to look? Say this is what you're comfortable with,
and we didn't. And this is kind of weird because it's my personal take, but we didn't respect models like athletes. And like it's because we don't respect women in culture in general.
Okay.
Because everyone was thinking like, oh, these supermodels, they're telling women they could just look like that if they tried hard enough. But if we were honest and we're like, oh no, these supermodels, they work out 9 hours a day and they don't eat anything, and it's a terrible life. But that's their sport. That's what they're training their body to do. Like if I look at Mike Tyson, nothing in my brain is telling me, oh yeah, I could do that. Because I know Mike Tyson wakes up at 5 a.m. I know he's working out for 3 hours. I know he's boxing for another 6 hours.
And he eats babies.
Yeah.
Like he's just vicious.
Like there's that understanding of like, oh, he's an athlete. I'm not. And like not respecting women as athletes and not athletes is where that came to, being like, well, how come all these girls think they can do that? Because you didn't tell them that these women are working really hard to do that. But also, it's like we're in Hollywood. Like you've been to like casting calls.
Yeah.
Like if you go to a casting call, there's 9 other guys that look like you.
Right.
Almost identical in like one variation or another.
Right.
And like when like supermodels were hot in like the 90s, like the hot like Naomi Banks.
Okay.
One of the hottest supermodels in the 90s, right?
Right.
Very few people think that Naomi Banks in that casting room, there were 9 other Naomi Banks in that room.
Right.
Like there were like 10 top people. Other than that, nobody else is getting called. Nobody else is being asked.
That's wild.
Like,
But a lot of it also is how society viewed what was beautiful and what was pretty. You know?
yeah,
Because they were starving themselves and working out, not eating, because that's what they thought America wanted to be like. This is what's beautiful, you know.
yeah,
This is what's beautiful. But then it's kind of to bring it back to collecting. Is you might have toys that are made now that have they look just like the actor and they're so accurate, you know. But then you have toys back in the days, like the first Han Solo. I don't know if you ever seen it.
yeah.
He's got like bangs and his head is way bigger than it does look like. But that thing's worth thousands of dollars, you know. But it's the imperfection that it was the time that society looked at this. Oh, this was a toy. It's just flip flop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're never going to get that again.
Never gonna get that.
Yeah,
again.
that's what the collecting's all about. Like I was telling you earlier this week, I have baseball cards from the 90s stacked, still in the wrapping, still unopened, that I'm waiting. I'm just waiting another few decades because then it's like, okay, well, are these worth anything? Or what do I want to get from these? Or are these a part of another collection that I can like add to somebody else's?
Right.
Because that's how like collections work. You either have a piece that someone wants or you have the exact thing that they want.
Right.
And so when you have a piece of like I have all of 92's Major League Baseball series with the one that came with the bubble gum, the pink gum inside.
Okay.
Of it.
Yeah.
I have all of that. Somewhere out there's probably a guy collecting that entire series from the 90s.
Right.
And might just need 92 because there was a fire.
Right.
Like things just happen.
So as a collector, they get you to once you buy one, you want to get the whole set.
Yeah.
And then if you're missing that one piece in that set, how important is it for you to have that? Like, how much would you pay to get that, to have your set complete? So you pay all this money, and then you get it, and you put it in your set. Oh, it's now complete, but it's just sitting there. It's not, you know what I mean? It's like, oh,
it's that
inside feeling how you completed something, right?
Because like I remember going to your house in Vegas when you had your setup.
Yeah.
And I saw how like it looked complete because you have scenes.
Right.
Like you recreate like little scenes from like either like movies or what you want to see. And it's just like it's cool to see that and like just like, oh, that's how Spider-Man would look. Oh, that's cool.
Oh man.
And it's like when you get that like that full setup, that's when it's like, damn, that was worth it. That was cool.
I bought this Galactus. It's like this big, you know? And so then I bought the Hero Clicks, and they're like this small. So it makes the scale look good. And it's Fantastic Four, you know, and the other ones, if you read the comic books, they battle Galactus a lot, you know, Silver Surfer and all that. So, dang, to have that and make it set up and have buildings back there, it's really cool. It's really fun to do.
I'm excited about the new Fantastic Four.
Yeah, that's going to look sick.
I think, and I was talking to my buddy about this, I think all of Marvel and DC are going to go back to being campy.
Okay.
Like back to like good old superheroes.
Yeah.
Like did you see the Superman trailer?
Oh, it looks great. And it's not dark, like, right?
No.
Yeah.
Seeing his dog.
Yeah.
Seeing Superman's dog. Oh my God. I was like, yeah, I could watch this.
I would definitely watch it, bro. I would just because his dog's in there and he rescues them, right?
He rescues him. He's all,
They never include Superman's dog ever in anything. But then, you know, now that Hawkman's not Hawkman, it's a girl, girl. You know, it's like, okay. I mean, just what's wrong with the original? You know, it's like
that was from the Justice League animated series.
Oh, they had a hawk girl.
They had a hawk girl.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Not even a hawk woman.
No. It was a hawk girl.
So is it Hawkman's daughter, or is it?
I think it's his lover. It's not his daughter per se, because they come from.
So he like little girls. Oh man, bro.
He liked them younger.
Hawkman or Hawkman, wasn't it?
He wasn't like the Chuck Berry of the Hawk people.
Oh no, it was like the Elvis Presley.
Yeah. But that's what I'm excited about those movies coming out because I think that's what we need right now. We need some fun.
Well, James Gunn is the director of those DC movies, and he's kind of lightening it up. We were talking about in the other podcast, like Superman's outfit is really bright.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's how it should be, you know? And he's taller than all the other superheroes because he should be taller.
Yeah.
You know? He's from Krypton. He's from another planet, you know? So he's built different.
Yeah.
So it should be. So it's I like the direction that it's going in. So it's really cool.
I really like James Gunn as a creator of just superhero stuff.
Yeah, because he did great with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, he did great with Kick-Ass too, right? He did Kick-Ass?
Yeah, Kick-Ass, yeah.
He also did a movie with Rainn Wilson. where he was. I think it's James Gunn. I'm pretty sure where he was a guy who had a wrench and was a vigilante.
Oh,
And then he did the movie with evil Superman, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Where it was like a kid. He came out and like he was supposed to make his own like dark universe,
Right.
but then they gave him DC. And like, dude, if you get a chance, watch the Harley Quinn show on Max.
Okay. Yeah.
It's really good.
All right. Well, man, we were all over the place today, talking about comedy and comics and movies and everything. It was great having you
Hell yeah,
on
man,
the
thanks.
podcast. I'd love to have you come back again and co-host or just be a guest or whatever. Right?
Yeah,
You got
I'd
any
love to.
dates coming up you're gonna be at?
I'm gonna be at the Comedy Store, and I'm gonna be at Pachanga Casino. It's the 9th, right?
The 9th. Yeah, that's in Coachella.
Coachella, yeah. Coachella Spotlight 29 Casino. Catch me, Edwin San Juan, and George Perez. It's gonna be a great show.
Yes, yes. And then I think we're gonna be doing the Comedy Store shows too, right? With
Yeah,
George
with
over
Comedy
there.
Store as well.
Yeah, he's
June
gonna
6th.
do June 6th, gonna do monthlies over there, showcasing just comedians in general, not just Latinos, but funny fools.
Yeah.
You know, so George is gonna do that once a month.
Funky Funny Fridays.
Funky Funny Fridays, Funk and Funny, right?
Yeah.
Funk and Funny. And then you're a co-host with George Perez on GPS Stories.
Yeah,
right?
I'm producing GPS Stories. He brought me on, and it was a hard hire,
Okay.
which means I didn't get any really transitions,
Right.
but I was able to like adapt. We were able to go live. We're getting everything set up. Like follow George Perez Stories today.
Yes. All right, you guys. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of The Collector Strikes Back. We'll see you next time.